Hi guys, welcome to one of my videos.
Grab some popcorn because this is gonna be a long flight and there's gonna be a video on one of the corners where you don't get bored.
Massive explosion. My brother said, "Let's go." And I said, "Man, I really don't
think there's anything I want to see there.
When I made the 911 call, they were asking for directions, and I told them, I said, all you have to do is follow the smoke.
What we see on the ground is not recognizable in any shape, form, or fashion as having been an airplane.
Firefighters find the smoldering wreckage of the aircraft in the middle of a farmer's field near Eagle Lake, Texas, just 110 kilometers west of Houston.
As you went there, if you wouldn't have knew it was an airplane, you would have just thought it was a pile of trash. It was burnt so far.
10 bodies were found inside the wreckage, 4 outside.
All 14 people on board, including Patridge and Radosevich, are dead. Accident investigators must now figure out why lives were lost on a popular commuter flight.
Whenever one passenger dies in a scheduled flight,
It went down,
When it hit the ground, there was a secondary explosion.
and kaboom!
The primary explosion is what caused us to go, "Oh my God."
I could see a hole in it.
It looked like it had a hole in it about the size of a Volkswagen.
the eyewitnesses were unanimous that the airplane was on fire before it reached the ground.
Seen this plane, solid fire, just the outside wings and going straight down.
The wing was blown completely off, and it was just dangling there.
The eyewitness testimony is compelling. An onboard explosion caused by a bomb seems like a very real possibility. Agents from the Federal Bureau of Investigation are quickly on the scene, looking for evidence of foul play.
The FAA said that they believe that there had been a mid-air explosion and it went off the screen very rapidly.
The FBI had gotten a report that someone had placed a bomb on the aircraft, and they were being very careful and making sure that there was no evidence of any kind of bomb or criminal activity.
The NTSB has heard reports of a federally protected witness testifying in a Laredo drug trial who was
a routine trip from Denver's Stapleton International Airport to Philadelphia International Airport, with a stop on the way at O'Hare International Airport in Chicago. But Flight 232 would never make it to its destination. Disaster would strike barely an hour into the journey, leaving the airplane's crew fighting for the lives of themselves and every single passenger on board. United Airlines is a US-based airline company that has been operating continuously since 1931. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, they were a popular choice, especially for shorter cross-country journeys. Though not the largest airline, they were still well respected in the industry. United boasted a fleet that remained modern throughout the years, with Douglas DC-7s giving way to Boeing 737s, then to McDonnell Douglas DC-10s as the company matured.
Have you ever had a moment where you thought you heard something outside, but you don't want to be the person peeking through the blinds? This camera will fix that.
Plane flying as United Airlines 232 on the 19th of July 1989 was a DC-10, with a registration N1819U. The aircraft itself was 18 years old and had seen a total of 43,401 flight hours. Neither brand new nor so old that it was nearing the end of its life. The crew on board had varying levels of experience. 57-year-old Captain Alfred Haynes had been with United since 1956 and had flown more than 7,000 hours in the DC-10. First Officer William Records, 48 years old, got his start at National Airlines in 1969, then flew with Pan American before joining United in 1985. He had only around 600 flight hours in the DC-10. Finally, 51-year-old flight engineer Dudley Dvorak had been hired by United in 1986, but had accrued only 33 hours in the DC-10. Also on board were 8 flight attendants and a total of 285 passengers, many of whom were travelling with young children seated on their laps. United was
Oh
running a
no,
Children's
bro.
Day promotion
We're
at the
about to
time,
do a barrel
whereby
roll.
children under 14
This can't be
with
happening right
accompanying
now.
adults could fly for just a penny. Many passengers had taken advantage of this promotion, hoping to reach their vacation destinations with a massively reduced fare. At 2:09 p.m., United 232 took off from Denver with an uneventful climb to cruising altitude. The aircraft leveled off at 11,277 meters, or 37,000 feet, and remained there for an hour. The flight proceeded exactly as scheduled until 3:16 p.m., when a violent jolt shook the plane and everyone on board. The jolt was accompanied by a loud bang. Almost immediately, the autopilot disengaged and indicators showed Captain Haynes that the number 2 engine had malfunctioned. He tried to reduce power to that engine, but found the throttles jammed. The crew were able to shut it down completely, but as they did so, they discovered they could no longer control the plane with their control columns. Flight engineer Dvorak found that all the hydraulic systems, essential for controlling the plane, were, alarmingly, fully depleted. All attempts to use auxiliary power to bring these systems back online proved unsuccessful. The plane entered a freeboard cycle, a pattern of flight where the plane moves up and down in a wave-like pattern. At the same time, it began banking further and further to the right. The crew could find no procedures for dealing with this situation. Even a desperate radio call to United Airlines maintenance yielded no results. In a stroke of good fortune, 46-year-old Denny Fitch, a DC-10 flight instructor, happened to be on board as a passenger. He recognized the rolling pitch effect the plane was experiencing. Since becoming an instructor, he had studied the crash of Japan Airlines Flight 123, which occurred just 4 years prior. That flight had also lost all hydraulics and had also endured similar up and down freeboard cycles before crashing. After speaking to a flight attendant, Denny Fitch was taken up to the cockpit. There, he worked with the flight crew to quickly determine what the plane could and could not do. They found that they were able to exercise some rudimentary control and steer the plane to the right by adjusting the power to the remaining engines. At the same time, they could adjust their pitch to counteract the freeboard cycle. Captain Haynes asked Fitch to take control of the throttles so he could focus on the control column.
I'm just checking. Curing for landing.
$300. $100.
We are about to land.
Wait a second. What are you driving the plane?
30. $20. 10.
That was a smooth landing.
I know that was so smooth. Oh, hi DC-10. Let's take off again.
Yay!
Oh, no, engine 1 is on fire.
I am trying to control the plane.
So, what are you doing?
I'm trying to control it, but it's so hard.
We are gonna stall.
So pull up the power.
I am trying, but the controls are messed up.
Do anything you can.
Okay.
And
It's too late.